Welcome to Chad Hates Carbs. Today we're going to do a blender coconut pie. We've got the oven heating up to 350, and we're going to try to do all this in a blender and make coconut pie, obviously. So step one, I'm going to take this erythritol and I'm going to put it in this blender. And the reason I'm going to do this is because they call out that they like to use swerve in this. And swerve is erythritol, my understanding, is that it's erythritol, but it's powdered. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in first so that we can kind of powder this a little bit. And we're going to knock that out first. As you can see, it's powdered now. It definitely helps a little bit with the texture a lot of times if you don't have the granules and whatnot. So I decided, because they call out the swerve, that I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the next bit, we're going to go to the top now of the actual recipe. We're going to go with four eggs, the whole eggs. Don't need to do any separation on this. And there's a lot of complaints in the comments about the texture, and I definitely think that this type of pie is has a tendency to be something that people either love or they hate. If you don't like eggs, like half of my family, my wife and my oldest son don't like eggs at all. They may not like this because it is kind of an eggier thing. Although, you know, a lot of your custards and whatnot have, obviously they're super eggy, and some people that don't like eggs, like plain eggs, will like a custard. So I guess it's each person has to figure out what it is that they want to, not necessarily want, what they like in a dessert, obviously. I love eggs, so I eat them on a regular basis. Matter of fact, this week for lunch, all I've eaten is eggs of some type. So if you like them, they're really cheap and they're good for you. So okay, so that's the 4 eggs. You don't have to do anything beyond that. We need half a cup of butter, and half a cup is a half a cup. No, sorry, a quarter cup of butter. So we only need half a stick. Thought I was going to get by with just throwing a whole stick in here, but I guess not. Okay. There's that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this up a little bit more. So it's a little bit, not that I need to help it, but why not? Be nice guy. Okay. Butter. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Two teaspoons of coconut extract. Teaspoons. Seems like quite a bit. Kind of wondering if I can just use coconut oil, but again, first time I'm doing the recipe, I will do it as it says. Okay. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. It smells good. Vanilla, half a teaspoon of baking powder. That's interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily figured that you'd be able to get by with not very much baking powder. Okay. 1 cup of unsweetened coconut. So we'll made some kind of hacked together some coconut pancakes the other day. They were pretty good. I'll have to show that recipe at some point. All right, 1 cup, 2 cups of heavy cream, which is quite a lot. For whatever reason, we haven't been getting to Aldi of late, so we've been having to get the Walmart heavy cream, which is more expensive. As a cheap person, it hurts my soul to not be cheap. Alright. Go. I'm liking this dump everything in a blender and then just make it go. Okay. Stick that in there. Blend away. Okay. That's pretty smooth. Alright. It's a little bit messier than I'm used to. Okay, we need to get a 9-inch pie pan. It was no wonder I couldn't find it. It was buried underneath all the rest of the things in the cabinet. So we're gonna go ahead and butter this up. It does say butter it up, so I'm going to use butter. I guess I could just use spray, but hey, the more butter the better, right? Let's go ahead and I haven't done this in a long time. Kind of reminds me of being a kid. All right. Alright, there we go. That all done. Alright, so now we just basically dump this in here, bake for 1 hour. There we have it. Now, unfortunately, it does look like there's some stragglers down in here. Looks like it kind of sat a little bit. Didn't sit that long, but some of the sugar and whatnot, the grain, there's still a few granules in there that are kind of making a mess here. So, anyway, it's almost exactly the right amount, as you can see. And we're right at 350 now, so slap that in and cook it for an hour. And we'll see what we have at the end of that hour. Alrighty, there we go. 60 minutes. Alright, sounds good. We'll see you then. Okay, we're at an hour, and we just dinged. So let's check this bad boy out. Woo! Glass is fogging up. Alrighty. That's what it looks like. Super high. And jiggly. Let's see what comes out if we do a little toothpick test. Comes out clean. So I guess we just let it sit. And the recommendation here is that we let it sit overnight, because I guess that does something with the the crust underneath. It'll make it set up better supposedly, so we will slap it in the fridge, obviously after we let it cool down. We'll let it sit overnight and then we'll take a look at it in the morning. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in about 24 hours. So it's the next day, and I have to admit we tried it last night. Yeah, it's set up pretty well. You can see that it deflated significantly from what it was doing last night, or yesterday afternoon even. Talks about letting the crust set up, and there really is not much of a crust at all. So I wouldn't mind trying to put another crust on this, but it's fairly solid. Definitely comes out like a standard custard pie. Has that same kind of texture. Very solid. Not very goopy at all, which is, in my mind is good. But my wife just tried it and said it tasted like a custard pie. She's not a big egg fan, so she didn't like it. But my younger son, he and I both are the egg eaters in the family, he enjoyed it. And you can see, like, texture-wise, it's definitely very dense. It's like a custard. It's really good. I'm a big fan of this, and I like how easy it is to make. One thing I will say, the food processor I used wasn't as good as like the Magic Bullet in terms of getting the granules of the erythritol broken down. So I think if you had Swerve, I think it would probably texture-wise be a little bit better, because you still do get some of the granularity in the erythritol. But flavor-wise, this is definitely right up there with some of the better custards I've had. Really good stuff. So I think, like I said, I think next time I might try it with actually putting a crust in there just to see how that works. But definitely worth a shot. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.